All right, we are back at Hoagie's Garage, and as usual, you're going to have to listen to me run through our sponsors real quick, because as everybody knows in the racing world, without sponsors, things don't happen very good. So, anyways, Fulkins Brothers Trucking. Give them a call, talk to Trim. They'll haul your livestock anywhere. Houston Speedway, everything they do around here, I mean, they had a great season last year. Hopefully they got better things coming next year. Turn 2 Lodge down in Knoxville. Literally, like it says, there's a place you can stay, a house you can rent right outside of Turn 2. Mount Tabor Cabinetry out in central Pennsylvania with Chris Fissel. Get your house remodeled, new builds, whatever you got. Morning Sun Marketplace, also out in central Pennsylvania with Rick and Sue Fritz. It's worth going to see. The amount of stuff at that place, bud, you got to see it if you get out there sometime. We got to walk through it one time this year when we were out there. So, My Race Pass, if you're into racing, you need to have My Race Pass. You can follow just about every track in the nation, dang near it, I think. S2F, start to finish, another streaming service. I know they cover Power I and Port City and several other races and tracks around down there. I mean, it's obvious it's the off season for everything.
Which we found out is owned by Shane Stewart.
Which we found that out. So we're going to have him on talk about that sometime. Kaiser Aluminum Wheels. Aluminum wheels, brakes, midgets, micros, sprint cars, pulling tractors, just about everything. Be Wiser, buy Kaiser. Heartland Hardware and Appliance, just what it says. They even sell mattresses, I believe, right?
That's right.
If I keep remembering that every so often. In Brandon, South Dakota, Hayward, and George, Iowa. Rapid Graphics with Blake over in Rock Rapids. Get your cars lettered up, get signs made, whatever you need, give Blake a call. Hawk Wings out of Jackson, Minnesota. Micro wings, midget wings, I think. Big car wings, pretty much whatever you need, they'll make it for you. Give them a call up in Jackson, Hawk Wings. Hero Haven, for all that they do for the vets, first responders, the trips they take them on, the things they do in general. It's a really great little organization. Look them up sometime. And then, of course, last but not least, is the Lumber Lounge and Garage with bench racing with Shane and Snow. Don't know what, I think they're on Wednesday night this week. I'm not positive. I didn't see anything yet this week.
Yep.
But look it up sometime. There's a lot of past episodes. They're a lot of fun to listen to. They're way smarter than me and Bud. But
what's that thing when they take veterans to Washington, D.C.?
That's Honor Flight.
Honor Flight. I think Hero Haven has a lot to do with that.
They got something to do with that too?
Yep.
That I did not know. See, look at me learning things, Bud.
And they get some funds from the casino.
Yep, they just got a check from the casino to help with vets.
So, all right, here we go. Hey, we're back at Hoagie's Garage, and we're lucky enough to have Guy Forbrook back on our show tonight. How you doing, Guy?
Oh, I'm hanging in there.
That's about all any of us can do anymore, ain't it?
It's getting cold out, so I'm really not liking it.
It has cooled down, but it wasn't bad today, actually, outside.
Yeah, but it's getting cold, so it's going to get there.
It's coming. It does every year, but we still live here.
I'm getting old.
The blood flow is not what it used to be, I've noticed. Like my fingers and toes and stuff get a lot colder than they used to.
Well, I don't hear no whining about your toes and no blood flow right
now. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm just part of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where is home these days, Guy?
I'm up here in Minnesota.
Okay.
In Morgan, Minnesota.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Give me a different town that's maybe bigger that I would know.
Redwood Falls.
Okay. So that's
Marshall.
Yep.
Now
we're catching on.
Absolutely.
I made a few trips to Marshall. The boy went to college there. So
Yeah.
I've been to Marshall.
45 miles east of Marshall, straight down Highway 19.
Okay.
Super.
Now we know if we go for a road trip sometime, we'll stop and pester him.
Yeah.
See what the shop looks like.
Yeah.
You bet.
Say, we were shooting the breeze beforehand. You were at the dyno, you said, the chassis dyno.
Yeah, I was there yesterday for about 5 hours.
Oh, and you run her through quite a few times probably then.
Yeah, we did a lot of different kind of testing, and I wanted to do it with the air the way it was, and learn some things.
So where do you do your dyno? Do you have your own, or do you bring it somewhere?
No, one of my good friends that I raced with since I've been 18, Tim Schwanke, that owns Tim's Automotive over here, has had a chassis dyno over there since '99, and I probably got 500 runs on it since then.
So did he build it just for you or what?
Well, kind of the way it looks here lately, but no, they have a lot of different cars that they put on it, and street cars and sprint cars and 305 cars and whatever. There's been all different styles on there, you know.
Swanky, that's a racing name though too, ain't it? Did they have something to do with?
He traveled around years ago with me, and then he helped with Camp Winters a little bit, and Glenn Berkner a little bit, and he started with me though back in about '83, I guess it would have been.
Okay.
And we did engines. We basically did engines together, and then I drove cars, obviously.
Yep.
And we did some of that stuff, and then I started driving different people's cars, and then he was doing some stuff with some other people, and then I got hurt. And then in '88, me and him and another guy put an engine together to go to the Knoxville Nationals. That was the first time really I traveled out with my wheelchair, and we hired Rick Unger at the gate, basically. Ron Forbrook was the one that owned the 5-car, and we ended up, there was 250 some cars at the Nationals that year, and we ended up making the A main and running about 17th, 16th.
Well, can't complain about that.
No, for never even racing and never even meeting him and all that.
Hiring a guy at the pit gate. You're lucky you didn't run into somebody like me and Bud. You wouldn't have made the A.
Yeah.
Now, you said 250 cars. What, I mean,
Yeah.
what,
Back then, that's about what they used to have.
okay. I mean, what's the most you think they've ever had at Knoxville Nationals? I really don't have no clue.
They always had a cutoff on that thing. I can't remember what it used to be. I mean, I honestly, I'd be talking on the shop if I told you what the cutoff was. I mean, I've been to the Nationals since I watched Dick Gaines win the Nationals and pass Jan Opperman on the last corner, the last lap in 1974. I would have been 12 standing in the stands by myself. And the biggest, I mean, it was a heck of a race, came down to the last lap, the last corner, but that wasn't the biggest highlight of the whole race. The highlight of the whole race is there was a fad going on in the United States at that time, and they even made a song about it. You guys are even old enough probably to even remember it.
Oh, maybe. If you refresh my memory.
Well, they had all the cars lined up on the front straightaway. All 24 of them.
Was it a Ray Stevens song?
It was The Streak.
Yep. Ray Stevens, I think, sang that, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but two streakers jumped over the number one wall and ran all the way down in between the 24 cars, all the way down the straightaway over the floor wall.
I
Don't
hope they were girls.
They were not.
Oh, dang.
So, yeah, I was in the middle of the stands, and all of a sudden you heard all these people, and obviously the stands weren't near that big in '74.
Yep.
And you heard people screaming and then yelling, and then I stood on top of the seat because I was 12 and watched. And here these two guys were running down the front straightaway, right down the middle of the cars.
But believe it or not, I was just listening. I Googled up a bunch of the old Ray Stevens songs like Tarzan and the Mississippi Squirrel, and I listened to the Streak song like a week ago, bud.
That's
Okay.
good.
So.
I have no clue.
Oh, you
Yeah,
bud.
it wasn't all Ethel running. It
No,
was other guys.
no. Ethel's just watching.
Yeah.
Don't look, Ethel.
Yeah.
But it was
So,
too late.
So yeah, I've been going down there quite a while and seen a lot of good racers down there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, we had Rick Dump and Franny Bruns on last week, and they went down
my
one
God.
year. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
They went down one year too, and there was 80 some cars or 90 cars that would qualify on a night, but only 50 qualified. The rest of you just went home.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't run like E-features and whatnot, evidently, so they just only took the top 50
Mm-hmm.
in each night. So Things have
What year
changed.
that was?
I don't know.
Did they say what year
They
that was?
said, and it was in the 80s. Well,
I would have had to been there.
more than likely, okay, this is going to make me sound really bad. What year did, he got killed at Houston. I'm sorry.
Bill Rook.
Bill Rook. That was the year Bill Rook got killed because Bill had talked him into going, and they had signed.
1987
Was that
probably.
okay?
Because I
But
went to his funeral, and I was already in my chair. I didn't have a car yet that I was racing, so I'm pretty sure it was 87.
okay, because they said he had talked him into going, so they'd signed up for it already back in March, and then
Okay.
Bill had his accident, but then they decided to go anyhow, even without Bill, and
Yeah,
that was the only
I
time they ever
know.
went down there. They were running 360s.
Okay.
They didn't have a
360
410.
motors, Yep.
Yeah,
So-
no, I hung out with Bill a lot because he used to hang out at Whitkey's a lot, and I would
Sure.
drive for Whitkey's there, and Bill would hang out at their shop. He was quite the Bill. Him and Rick,
Yeah.
his brother or his cousin. I think it was his cousin.
No.
So, but yeah, they were quite the guys.
Yeah. Just real quick, getting back to the dynos. So we were, talking a little bit beforehand, and you do all your pretty much own work on the motors, and you've done that kind of throughout.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't assemble them like I used to all the time anymore because I can't obviously lift the stuff like I used to.
Yep.
I pretty much kind of do my own style heads and my own style cams and the injectors and rods and cranks and weights and speeds and base circles and whatever. I mean, there ain't much that I can't tell you that I got here.
Yeah. And they work well. I mean, it's obviously
Yeah,
your cars have been
I
fast.
say over these years.
Because I was just talking with my brother-in-law Troy before I came over here, Campman,
Okay.
and his uncle was Bob Wilson. So back in the day when you had Lazowski driving your car,
Mhm.
his uncle Bob was convinced you guys had traction control because there was no way you could be that much faster than them. And they looked over that car all the time from front to back. They couldn't figure out what you were doing, but you must have been cheating because you were too fast.
I wonder if I didn't meet this guy that you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sure you have. I'm sure he talked to you.
I went by the chassis dyno here about a year ago, and there's these guys going to dyno this car. I think it was a 305. And this older guy walks over to me and he goes, "Aren't you Guy Forbrook?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You're the one that had that 5 car back in the day with the Sosky." And I said, "Yep." And he goes, "Did you guys have a 440 in that thing all the time?" And I started laughing and I said, "No." He goes, "Well, how would anybody know?" And I said, "Well, you got to understand one thing, sir. We're probably the most checked car in the whole damn pits. Everywhere we went, we got tubed. I
Yep.
mean, you guys got tubed. So we always got checked because everywhere we went, they would check you for cubic inch.
Yep.
Because
Because
we were winning all-star shows and
Yep.
local shows and outlaw shows and
so you had to be cheating to be that fast. That's what everybody was figuring. You couldn't just be good. You got to cheat,
yeah,
But that's in every
it-
event.
we had really good stuff. I mean, the motors at that time were really fast, and Danny was coming into his own. I mean, it didn't matter if we put Danny in or Jack. Jack
Yep.
was just as fast.
Yep.
And the motors were, at that time, Earl was definitely on his game with their heads. And I would just feel it and change cans and stuff like that. And we had different style cars back then. We had some Gambler cars at first. Then I had some American Challenge cars that we had built. And then we went to Brian's cars,
Yep.
Sinead.
Yep.
And honestly, that Sinead car that we had in '96, that was the only car that we'd ever lapped the whole entire field with. And that would have been at Grand Forks in '96.
Left the whole field.
He left.
Yep.
Yeah, Terry McLeod ran second a lap down.
That's insane.
So, and then we won the Gold Cup or whatever that race was at Houston the next night.
Yep. That's impressive, is what that is. But
Yeah,
yeah.
he was that same year with that car. He was going to do the same thing at Knoxville, the week before the Nationals with 95 cars there, and with 2 laps to go, he ran into Dennis Moore, who was running second, and looped her around and knocked the front axle out of it.
Oh, shit. So he was passing the last car to lap the field.
To lap the whole field.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was at Knoxville.
Yep.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah, that's a big track.
And he started 12th.
Oh my God.
Really?
That's
Yep.
insane.
I was going to guess he had to start on the front row to get that done, but
No.
damn.
No, he was. There's one thing about him back then. I mean, he never really slowed his pace down. He was always,
It was wide open all the time.
well, between him and Kinzer, they never got tired.
Yeah.
So, or Wolfie, you could put
Yep.
Doug in there too.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
And they wouldn't slow their pace down from lap 10 to lap 20. You know.
Yep. I seem to remember a story about Wolfie. He'd lay on the floor and watch TV, but not have a pillow. And just hold his head up there for like an hour while he watched TV to build up his neck muscles and stuff. That's
Oh,
a
yeah, he'd
story.
work on his neck.
That's story I seem to remember.
Or ride his bike,
Yep.
stationary bike, or his bicycle. You know.
And I can
Yeah,
remember.
he was the hardest working driver out there, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
he ran a lot, and I can remember racing. Well, it would have been the week before he got hurt. We were racing in Devil's Bowl, I think we were gonna race. We ran Oklahoma City. We ran Houston. We must have rained out at Devil's Bowl. It was raining that night because we were there, but we didn't race it. I know that because we went from there to Oklahoma City, and then Tulsa the next night, and then he got hurt the next week at Lakeside. But we're driving down the frontage road in Garland, Texas, and it was raining like hell. And there's this guy running down the frontage road, and we're like, "Who's this crazy guy?" And we got closer, and here's Wolfgang
Oh,
running
shit.
down the road out in the rain.
I suppose he had to get his miles in for the day, I suppose.
He did, yeah. He didn't ever take a day off. You know?
That's crazy.
No, but that's part of what made him good too. You know, like you said, if you're in shape, nothing changes from the start to the finish of the race and how you're doing it. And,
You know?
but
Yeah, he was definitely the most dedicated of the bunch. You know?
yeah,
So I don't remember the whole time scenario here. I think it would have been towards the end of, not this year, the year before. You had Tim's jump in your car for 3 or 4 nights.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about? And if I remember right, you pretty much told Shane that you should definitely give this kid a chance.
Well, I mean, it came about. I talked to Ryan's dad,
Randy.
and they wanted to do, to Randy, and they wanted to maybe venture out and try some different things. And so I told them that I would give them a weekend at Knoxville and Houston, so let's try it. And so we did, and we ran good at Knoxville, and we won Houston. We set fast time in Knoxville, and he went out dead last, and I think he ran 4th in the feature. And then we won Houston, and then we came back to the Outlaw shows the next week, and he set fast time one night, and the second fast the next night, and he ran, I think, the top 4 the first night, and the top 8 the next night. But yeah, no, Ryan is definitely coming into his own. He's got a lot of talent. I mean, I don't think we've ever even seen what he really can really do yet, because he's pretty green yet. But
Yeah.
he's driving on talent right now. And then I was going to go have back surgery in November after that race. And that would have been September. So Shane was talking to me about wanting to go do some other things, and I told him, well, I can tell you, this kid can drive. There's no doubt about it. I said, he totally blew my mind. And when he got in that car that night at Houston, he actually, when I watched him, and I've been there a lot of times, obviously,
Yep.
Yeah.
the biggest thing that impressed me about him, he was only 17 then. I mean, he was racing with Reitzel, and he got by Reitzel in traffic. But the biggest thing he was doing is he was looking ahead so far. He was blowing me away that he wasn't even making me nervous that he was gonna, because it was like a cloud. It was, I think it was rough that night, and it rained or something.
Okay.
And he was way ahead of the car, and he did a really, really, really good job. And I told Shane that I'm telling you, this kid, if you get the car right for him, you won't have to ask him if the gas pedal's down.
No, you don't have to wonder where that's at.
So that's how they got together, and I mean, I hooked them up together, and talked to Randy, and I talked to Ryan, and then I don't remember if Ryan called Shane or Randy called Shane or Shane called them, and they took off, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's pretty good history so far too.
Yeah, they've done an amazing job.
Yeah.
I was happy for them this year. They really did. I mean, I hope that, I don't know if it's sunk in yet or not, but that, what they did usually just don't happen.
No.
And they won some big races, and they had some amazing year. And at the end of the day, next year's another year though.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope you got a little bit of a kickback out of that combination a little bit for setting them up.
yeah, I got all the late night calls from those guys when they're drinking and having fun. You know?
Guy, did you see us tonight?
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I was after the Nationals. I wasn't at the Nationals. Because Ryan is a really good boy.
Oh yeah.
He's really down to earth.
Yep.
And I was honestly, when where he started, I figured that if they let him get far enough ahead, they were going to be in trouble. But if they got him in traffic, I don't know if those guys that had a lot more experience, I don't know if they would take him to school there yet or not.
Yeah.
But hell, they never got close enough to do it.
No. I
So,
just
he
listened
was
to
allowed.
they used to call it Knoxville Nights. They changed the name of it now. They had him on last week or whatever.
Okay.
And he was saying there too that he knew the car was good enough. If he could get out front in clean air, he was going to be hard to beat. He knew that, but he knew he had to run a good race. But he said too, I don't think he said it hasn't totally sunk in yet. The whole summer hasn't, between the Knoxville National and the Tusky and stuff like that. It's just, yeah. So, but yeah, like you said, we got
that
him
was
on.
an amazing deal. I mean, I was happy for Shane too, as
Oh,
family
yeah.
and racing. I mean, I've known Shane since he's been 12 years old. He used to come to Whitkey shop with his dad,
Yep.
and when I was driving for him. And I mean, I know he looks older than me, but I'm older than him. So
We have a comment on the Facebook page. Now, this is from Jason DeWall, so take it for what it's worth. It's Jason.
I don't know him.
Okay. Well, anyways, he said, can you ask Guy about his favorite which I don't think he had that written right, and Jerry Franston story. He said you drove a Franston car with your old 34. Were you driving a Franston chassis then?
Yeah.
So he wanted to know if you got a good story about Jerry.
Well, I can tell you, I got lots of stories about Jerry, and some of them we can tell, some of them we can't. But I can tell you when I first went there to drive for him, or drive there, and I drove for him too in his own cars. But when I first went there, I mean, the first race I ever won, I bought the car from him, and I was going to take off and go down to Rock Rapids. And he goes, hey, I'm just going to go with you. And I said, oh, okay. Otherwise, I was just going to go by myself. And he went down there. We ended up winning the first race I ever drove. And I was with him. And I was talking to people and happy and blah, blah, blah. And he's telling me to shut up and get in the truck. We got work to do. I gotta leave, you know. So we get back there, and the next day I was out in their parking lot working on the car, and he said, "Hey, you need to clean the inside of that trailer out." It was an open trailer, like you rolled the car on the trailer, you know.
Yeah.
It was all open, and there was some oil in there and stuff like that. I had an oil can that opened, and I was actually had my car running, and I was tuning on the motor, and I just shrugged him off, and I said, "Yeah, whatever." And now, if you knew Jerry Franson, yeah, the whatever usually didn't go over very well, and I had a 7/8 wrench in my back pocket, and he took that 7/8 wrench, slipped it out of my pocket, and donked me on the back of the head with that wrench.
Oh, that's a big wrench.
Yeah, well, my eyes must have got as big as golf balls. I turned around. He knocked me on my knees, and I turned around, and I got up, and he goes, "You son of a bitch, you hit me. You're never going to drive one of my cars." I said, "You son of a bitch, you ever hit me like that again, I'm going to hit you." And that's just the way he was. You know, he would motivate you in different ways, but he was really good to me, and I can tell you, I mean, as far as like racing with him and the things that I had learned and what I had done to start to get going that fast, a lot of it was him, as far as the motivating and the cars that, like the car I drove was a really nice car that he had built, and even the other cars that I drove, that he was building different style cars at that time. And I mean, I was a young kid. I was 19 years old, and basically all I knew was the steering wheel and the gas and the brake, and I was learning. And there was times 10, 15 years later, I'd call him up and I'd say, "I know why your car isn't worth a shit because of this and that," when I was driving it now. And he would laugh at me, and then he'd say, "Oh yeah." And but he was changing hookup points and doing things back then, and moving things, and he was blaming cars and that, and it wasn't the cars, it was the actually the features they're putting on the cars, and but I learned a lot from him. And as far as like a guy that could master craft anything, or I mean the bodies and all that, everything he made was handmade.
Really?
And everything. And from the cars to the wings to the frames to whatever, he wasn't very good with motors, so I can tell you. I mean, that was his biggest downfall.
You can build a car, but not the motor.
Yeah, he just had a hard time with getting motors to run. He actually knew kind of what was going on with the motor. I mean, there was one time they were going to go to Knoxville, and I wasn't driving for him, I don't think yet. And we were riding in his little camper deal, and it was me and his wife, Muriel, and Keith. He goes, "Hey, I'm getting tired up here. One of the other guys," and we were just on the way to the race. He goes, "One of the other guys can drive." And I'm sitting on the couch on the opposite side of the wall of the driver's side. And I looked at Muriel and Keith, and we all just kind of just shrugged our shoulders. All of a sudden, here he comes walking back.
Still going down the interstate, or down the highway.
Yeah. And he just put the cruise on, freaking got up and walked back there. And I'm like, "What in the hell?" So I jumped up and ran up and grabbed the wheel, and I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I knew one of you guys had grabbed the wheel." That's the way he was.
Oh my
God.
That's hilarious. Going down the road with no driver.
We're going down the road. He just put the cruise on and got up and walked back there.
Yeah. I just saw a commercial on TV, hands-free driving now on this
he
whatever
was
car.
way ahead of the curve.
Way ahead of the curve,
The
man.
old camper was not hands-free driving. He was up hanging on to it, you know.
So, you mentioned Keith. Keith used to drive, right?
Oh yeah, Keith was good.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember him. Now, did Jerry ever drive, or was he just the mechanic?
Oh yeah, I know. Jerry drove a lot too back in the 70s.
Okay, I don't.
In early 80s.
Okay.
The early 70s.
Okay, I don't remember Jerry. I remember Keith racing, but I
Jerry,
don't.
crashed a few times, and that he basically knocked his kneecaps off his body, so he kind of quit racing.
Ooh.
You know?
Got him
Back
up in
then,
the
a lot of
steering
those
box
guys
or whatever.
didn't run knee pads, and that would happen to him, you know.
Yeah.
And it kind of crippled a lot of them guys up because of that back in them days. But yeah, those two together, they were quite the pair. And but Jerry and Keith could weld and do all that stuff too. He would work
Yeah.
on body shops and stuff like that. But they could definitely fabricate and make some beautiful race cars.
Well, I remember Keith being fast. I remember that. But-
Yeah, no, he definitely could drive.
Yep. Now, I got to go back a little bit in this story. You said you bought a car from Jerry and you were going to Rocky to race it. So that's
Yep.
your first race?
Yep,
And you were going by yourself to your first race?
yep.
That seems a little bit crazy in its own right to me.
Why is that?
Well, just if you've never raced and you're going to the track all by yourself, hell, you ain't got anybody to help you push the car back to get the damn thing started even.
No, I just pushed it back and I got in it, and the push truck would have pushed me off. I mean, that was just the way it was back then. You know?
Because back in the day, then you still backed them off. Then, didn't you? Purge them or
Yeah,
whatever.
them little 317s we didn't really have to back then.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I would go to the races on a Friday, usually leave my dad's shop and take off by myself. And I went down there quite a few times to Rock Rapids by myself.
That's
I
awesome.
remember you racing at Rocky, but I guess I wasn't in the pits then. Dad didn't have a push truck yet in the 80s. We didn't start that till in the 90s. But yeah, I guess I didn't realize you were there by yourself. That seems crazy to me. But
Oh,
Yeah, no. Sometimes I'd grab a guy walking around in the pits and say, hey, you know how to change gears? And do stuff like that. Or whatever. Sometimes Keith would come with me. Sometimes Jerry would come with me. Sometimes I'd have a friend would come with me. Kurt Fast in '85 came with me a lot. Fast Wings back in the day.
yep, okay, I remember them.
Yeah. And he used to work with Jerry a little bit at Jerry's shop. And he was a good fabricator as far as building wings and all that kind of stuff too. Kurt was. But yeah, that's basically how I built the motor and all that, put it in the car and went down to Franson's and told him I was going to head down to Rock Rapids, and he said, well, I'm going to go with you. So that's how it went down there.
that's cool.
So I got to ask too, because we were talking with Franny and Rick, last week, and they were racing together a lot, and they didn't have shit for spare parts, so they have like one front tire between the two of them. If one guy wrecked one, he'd have to replace the spare.
You know,
When you went by yourself like that, then did you have much for spare parts, or just
I was a 19-year-old kid that was running on a shoestring. So what do you think?
you had the car and that was all? So if you crashed, you were done.
Well, I had a couple right rear wheels, couple left rear wheels. I bought it all from Jerry when I bought the car. I think I got 2 rights, 2 lefts, and I might have had the 2 rights or right and a left on the car too. So I might have had 3 rights and 3 lefts basically.
Yeah.
And they were all back then. They were like all welded on beadlock stuff and all that. There was nothing new.
Yeah.
But, they all been all 6-pin wheels at that time, and I don't even know if I had a spare front. I don't think so, because I think if anything ever happened, I was at a race. If Jerry was there racing, I'd borrow front from him.
Okay. So for people, if anybody's listening or tuning in, we got Guy Forbrook on with us tonight. We keep forgetting to mention that as we go. We get involved in the show and we forget what we're
I
supposed
was
to talk
going
about.
to, but you just keep talking, Toe.
You were okay. No, I'm
No,
done.
I'm just
No,
giving
I'm
you
quitting,
crap.
but I'm all out. You made me do the damn show by myself last week.
Oh, we like giving each other shit, Guy. I think it was this year you had Donnie Schatz test for you a little bit. That kind of got people
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah, I mean, we just went down there to have some fun since we've been known. I've known him since he's been a punk ass kid. And, I mean, his family and me, we've always been really tight. And I'd really never met the nieces. So he wanted to take the girls down there, and I said, well, if you want to take the girls down there, I'll just take my car down there. You want to just drive it because my seat, your insert and all that'll fit in my seat. And that's all we did is we went down there to have a little fun and to have the nieces drive around there, and just let him drive around there with them. And that's basically what we did. Went down there and just, it wasn't no serious test or anything. It was just a matter of driving it around there.
Sure.
The track actually wasn't really, the testing of that night at the track, that was probably one of the worst ones that I'd had there for them. They didn't put enough water on it, but that was because probably the guys that ranked at the track didn't tell them guys how they wanted it.
Sure.
And, or they did, they probably told them they wanted it super slick, but you can't have it that way right away.
No.
So otherwise it goes away so fast.
Yep.
You know?
Then your testing is short because the track is total crap after an hour.
Yeah, so you had about 4 laps and that was the end of it.
Yep.
And then you're just kind of wasting your time.
So it's
running off tires.
2 buddies went down just to drive a car so his nieces could practice, but it sure made the whole racing world wake up and pay attention because they were all curious now what you were going to do with your car, and Donnie was in it, and it had all sorts of speculation going on.
But if anybody knew my situation, they knew there was no way possible that could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm kind of in my own little bubble here yet where I kind of have to, I stay right around here and do my thing right now because as far as traveling, I mean, when they put 28 screws in my back, I had a surgery in November, and it was a, 7, almost 8 hour surgery. And then I got out of there in about a week and a half, and when I was leaving, I told them that my back was not feeling for the hoot. And I said, actually, I told them there was something wrong. And they said, well, we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. Well, 2.5 weeks later, whatever it was, it shattered.
Oh, shit.
And I woke up in the middle of the night, and L4, where they put the screws into it, shattered L4, and it ran into my spinal cord. And it sent me to the moon. I was like, I come out in the kitchen, my blood pressure was like 242 over 118.
Oh,
and Brady happened to be home. My son happened to be home. So I called Mayo and told them what was going on, and then they called me back and said they had a place where I could go get an MRI quick. Well, then I did, and they told me that you're going to have to get back in here. We're going to have to do emergency surgery on you. You already got spinal fluid draining out of you. So it definitely damaged my spinal cord has never been dinged or nothing. I never even had a broken bone in this first car accident in '86. Nothing. Didn't even have a bloody nose.
Really?
I had a broken blood vessel in my neck is what happened to me.
Oh, seriously? I did not know that.
Yeah. Never lost none of my feeling, nothing. And, but it damaged the front side of my spinal cord where your motor nerves are, and that's why I couldn't stand up and move my legs. I never lost none of my feeling. They all thought I was in spinal shock. And about 6 o'clock the next night when they put me in an MRI machine, they figured out, and MRIs back then, I mean, I don't even know how they could read what they were reading.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not like HD TV now.
Yeah, no, so there was a little black dot where they showed me that the blood had spilled into my nerve tracts, and it starved the nerves for blood.
Huh.
Crazy.
I've never even heard of that before.
Yeah, so anyway, I mean, they came back, I started standing up again 10 years later, but nothing like normal, like where you could be normal.
Yeah.
But then all the wear and tear of jumping around and doing what I was doing, I started wearing on my vertebrae because I didn't have no muscle structure really in my back because I actually am a quad because I'm hurting my neck.
Okay.
So I was doing things I probably shouldn't have been doing, but I would just overcome it and stand up and flex and do whatever on my vertebrae with no muscle structure. Well, sooner or later it started rubbing them and hurting them, and I had a bulged disc in the middle of my back. And then I had it fixed, and when they fixed it, the guy got a little carried away. Instead of staying on my rib cage. He wanted a couple vertebrae off my rib cage, and he didn't do it until he told me after he did the surgery. And I've been to Miami Project and Hopkins and all them places through some of the drag racing people and the IndyCar people got me into all these major hospitals. And the surgeon from Hopkins was like, I mean, the F-bomb was flying everywhere after I told her what he had done. And she told me before I was out of surgery for 2 days, you're in big trouble. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, without no muscle structure, your vertebrae are going to start popping with these rods being that stiff. Well, she wasn't wrong. 2 years later, they started. I had no vertebrae that I had one bulge disc in my back, and I had no vertebrae damage at that time. And now I'm all the way from my neck to my ass with a rod.
Oh shit.
28 screws.
Jesus.
And the second surgery was 12 hours, and then I got blood clots in my lungs. And so I had a hard time there. And so I was in the hospital for, I don't know, a couple weeks after that. And then I came home again by myself. And just been trying to build myself back up again, start all over again, you know. But this time I'm not 21, you know.
No.
Yeah.
So, but so yeah, I'm going to try to do some things next year. I really believe that this motor that I got here that I'm working with is one of the best motors I've ever ran on a car in my life. But until I get it back on the track, I can't tell you that.
Yep.
The only way you can tell if it is when you win with it, you know?
Yeah.
So, or can we say we got like an 80% chance of seeing the 5 car on the track at least once, maybe this summer, or no?
Oh, yeah, no, I'd say that for sure.
Okay.
That way, at least once. If not, I'm hoping for about 10 to 15 times.
And
So I'm hoping for.
just Knoxville.
And Houston's.
Okay.
Okay.
And Jackson. I'm hoping they race some bigger races at Jackson.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. I mean, if there's some bigger outlaw races here, or if I feel decent enough, I maybe go to Grand Forks. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just depends who I get to drive it too. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You gotta
Outlaw
find that guy to drive it.
The Outlaws are at Houston's 8 times this year.
Well, 4 of them will be for
The high banks.
So they got, what do they got? Yeah, what do they got? Two-day outlaw shows then or something?
Well, no, they got a 3-day on Labor Day weekend, and then one time on Memorial Day weekend they got a combination show with Knoxville on Saturday and Houston's on Sunday.
So they got a 3-day on Labor Day.
Yep.
At the end of the year.
Yep.
So then they got the 4-day.
Yep.
And the 4-day with the high banks.
Yep.
Or whatever it's
And
called.
then the 1 day on Memorial Day weekend.
Okay. And then how about? They race on Memorial Day weekend too, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Because it's
And then how about? I'll probably be at the Memorial Day race for sure, just to check it out.
Yep.
If I'm going to go to the high banks. What? How about Jackson? They got 5 or 6 outlaw races there, or don't they?
Haven't heard
I haven't
anything
seen any on
at
Jackson.
yet.
They didn't have them last year because even like the Nationals, they had the IRA come with the NASA and stuff. But I haven't seen a Jackson schedule yet. We didn't get that out of Doug the other day.
No.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember it anyhow.
I don't know if we asked them about Jackson,
I don't
to be
know.
honest, but
We can't remember what we did this morning, like I
Yeah.
said earlier. So when I'm remembering things, it's impressive. Must be that Prevagen or whatever I've been taking.
Well, I'm hoping they get some races at Jackson yet, because we still need that place.
Oh yeah, and it's a great facility now. Holy crap,
Oh, yeah,
it's got
it's a beautiful facility.
You go sit there, there ain't a bad seat in the house anymore now.
You know?
For those of us sitting in the stands.
I still think that if they get it going, it'll just help the whole racing in general around the area.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. So,
Jackson's always been a good town.
yep.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they've been there forever. I mean, I remember the old track yet, going up there, and then there used to be a bullseye painted on the roof of that one building outside of 3 and 4.
Yeah, I raced there a lot, and I was there a lot with my dad in the 60s, you know,
Okay, yep.
60s, 70s, 80s.
So
Do you have like something come to your mind at all, like the craziest thing you've ever seen at a racetrack? Maybe besides the streakers.
Oh, the craziest thing I've ever seen at a racetrack. It probably would have had to do with Carl Kenzer, but I don't know. You know what, you guys? I've had a lot of crazy things over the years of going on, but
Well, if you can't come up with one, that's fine. We put people on the spot for it. Because these questions just pop in our head as we're sitting here, you know. I make an occasional note, like I remember to ask you about your first race by yourself, so I made a note of that so I wouldn't forget. But you mentioned your boy Brady. What's he up to then next year? Same outfit, or what's he got going on?
yeah, he's called me a couple times while we've been talking here. He's still hanging out with Rico next year, gonna do his thing with Rico.
Okay.
And he's really enjoying that job, and that's what he's gonna do.
Okay, cool. You'll have to you call him back after a while. Let's see if he wants to be on the show sometime. We'd like to see what he's all been up to.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun, I think, for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah, I kind of running out of ideas right now, bud. We've had him on here for quite a while already. We didn't say it'd be too long, but it's been a lot of fun, been a lot of information.
Oh.
So I guess I'm running out of questions unless you got something for him yet, bud, or guys got another story to tell us.
Still single, so you know I'm still hanging in there.
That a boy. Yeah,
Well,
no, I mean, I'm personally, you know, happy that, you know, you have the goals of wanting to be back on the track. It's great to hear that you're, you know, dynoing the motor and getting everything ready. You know, we just started kind of the off season, but there is no off season in racing, and you got me ready to go for next year already.
Yeah, I gotta get down that way. The Falcons brothers, they still owe me a steak yet, so I gotta get down there and see them too.
Well, you damn well better be. Well, just so you know, Steve's been listening, so.
Is he?
Yep, so now he knows that he owes you supper yet.
The steak, I can tell you that right now. That was our deal, me and him.
There you go. Well, I'll remind him of it next time I see him.
Buying. I can't remember. One of us two were buying.
Well, we'll make him buy. What the hell?
I was gonna come down there and see him, and I never got down there. I told him I was gonna come after my surgery in November last year. Well, it kind of got drug out.
Yeah, that turned into a shit show, but.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. No, it's always fun to do this kind of stuff. I'm looking forward to this next year. I mean, honestly, I haven't even talked to nobody about driving a car or anything yet. I want to see what I got here. I mean, I may go test here in December, maybe down south a little bit.
I was gonna say you ain't testing around here in December.
Yeah, just to see how it runs, and then come home, and that way I know where I'm at before we start the year in April.
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say you could. They do some ice racing up there in Minnesota somewhere, don't they, with sprint cars? I've seen that before.
I used to ice race a lot on snowmobiles, you know.
Oh, did you? I think.
Yeah, I won the World Series in snowmobile racing when I was 17.
Oh, damn. We probably discussed that the first time you were on, but like I said, that wasn't yesterday, so I can't remember. But
That would have been in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, or Waldheim, Canada.
okay,
Oh,
was
dang.
that oval track then? I'm assuming, or
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, that you could have put Knoxville inside of it.
really?
Yeah.
How fast would you be going then?
That day on that sled, we were running 87 mile an hour on that sled, and the Snow Pro sleds are running about 115.
Woo, dang! Oh my gosh. That's
So-
moving.
I suppose they were all
Yeah.
the tracks were all studded up and everything, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I seen stuff happen at that track that I'd never seen before ever. I seen a guy. He was running a Thunder Chicken, which was a snow jet with a Yamaha motor in it,
Okay.
and he was leading a class called the 440 mod class. And I mean, I'll promise you, he was running at least 115 when that, and the track split in two, 3/4 of the way down the straightaway, and he was on the plastic side rails and the skis only. And I mean, it looked like he picked up speed, and everybody's like, "Holy shit, you better jump off of this thing!" And he didn't bail off, and he tried to hang on to it, and it turned sideways, and then the front carbides bit, and that
Sure.
thing had to go 15 feet in the air, and he was still on it.
Oh, seriously?
And they ended up airlifting him out of there, you know.
Dang.
But oh yeah, them places like that back then, they were. That was the biggest snowmobile racing track that I'd ever raced on. When we got there, when I left to go up there, my mom wrote a note. I got out of school. My mom wrote a note, said that when I got there on the border that I could race, and they allowed it and had given me permission to race. So that's how I got across the United States-Canada border.
With a
And
note
then
from Mom.
And then I took the same note to the people up there, and that's how I got to sign in on the racing deal with the track, because I didn't have no adult with me. And that's can you imagine trying to do that nowadays?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah. No, it ain't happening anymore now.
Yeah, but so yeah, that's how I crossed the border.
With a note.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's been.
And you were a world, I mean, in a sense, a world champ then.
Yeah, world, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We went to the ice drags one time. It's been quite a few years ago. Me and my brother went up to Catfish Bay in Sioux Falls up here. They had ice drags with the snowmobiles.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you said, they're spiked up and studded up. And guy took off, throttle stuck. On the other end of the bay is like railroad tracks, I believe. He didn't jump off. He decided to ride it over the railroad tracks, or the berm on the end. That didn't end well for him either. There was a long delay there. I don't know how bad he ended up getting hurt, but I'm like, dude, you hit the kill switch and you jump the hell off if it don't stop.
They used to have the World Series of Drags here at Alexander in Minnesota
Really?
back in the day on Lake Darling. Yeah, I ran them too.
Dang.
How fast could you go? And what were they running then? 800 feet, 600 feet?
750.
Okay, I split it then. How fast could you go then? Did they have a radar gun on you?
I had the biggest class I ran was a 500 Centurion. I went 750 feet. I went 92 mile an hour.
Yep. Well, another story for me, we were out to the Black Hills one time snowmobiling, and there was a lake up there somewhere in the damn hills, and they were going to do ice drags that weekend, I think. There was a guy up there had that, it was a Yamaha, that VMAX 4, whatever, that 4-cylinder, he had turbos and shit on it.
Yeah.
And I think they were only running 600 feet there. When his kid come by, he had a radar gun, it was 103.
Yeah, that's Holland Bud.
And so he let us run on ours, what we had. I had a little 340. I think I got up to 45.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
But
You almost got off and ran that fast.
damn near. Well, it didn't help. There wasn't a single spike on the thing, so you spun pretty much for the first 50 feet, never moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we still had fun. It was kind of interesting to see how fast we could go. But
that's your story. We don't know that for sure. You might have been scared just to squeeze the handle out.
oh no, I was young then yet. I held the throttle on that. But shit, with that 340, you ain't hardly gonna get hurt. I got witnesses. My brother was there and Jeff Wilkie was there, so I got witnesses. They'll remind me because I was way slower than they were.
Yeah. Not the Jeff Wilkie from Knoxville.
No, not
We
the
still
Jeff Wilkie from it's the Lester Jeff Wilkie. There's two
Yeah.
Jeff Wilkies in the world.
At least.
Yeah, that we know of.
Guy, thanks so much for coming on. It was a short notice thing, and you're more than willing, and we really appreciate that. I think as far as podcasts go, you hold the #1 spot, most listened to out of all 300 and some that we've done. So
Wow.
yeah, so people like listening to what you have to say.
And
Well, Eric, that's not usually don't happen.
and we really don't care if anybody listens. We're having so damn much fun visiting with you.
Yeah.
So
Well, as many sponsors as you guys are listing off there before the start of the show, I figured this has got to be your full-time job.
No, we ain't charging that much for sponsorship.
Yeah,
No, we're not. I haven't quit my day job yet. Let's put it that way.
We're still pretty much doing this
for
for
the fun of it. Yeah.
And what money we do make, for the most part, we give back to other race car drivers.
We sponsor 3 or
Okay.
4 different vehicles. We got what, 2 cars we sponsor, 2 go-karts.
Cool.
So we're having fun. That's all that matters. We're
Absolutely.
enjoying it. Hopefully you're having fun talking to us, and we're both winning.
We're excited that we'll see you
This
back at
isn't
Houston.
my last year here yet, so I told Falcons that he's probably gonna have to get his name on my car one time yet before I retire. So if he's listening,
Well, there you
now he
go.
knows. I'm calling him out right here.
All right.
So,
I'll mention it. 'Cause
So do you need sponsors, or do you have enough sponsors other than Falcons?
no, I got some good people. There's a few spots I could put on there, but I'm not gonna ask nobody anything until I actually get this thing rolling and know that I physically can start and finish.
Yep.
Then I'll talk to some people. Otherwise, I don't want to get it started and then I can't finish because I can't do it.
Yeah.
But if I physically can get her done, then I'll definitely sit down and talk to some people. And I mean, what I got here, it'll be fast. It will be. It'll be one of the fastest cars I've had.
Yeah. Well, I'll harass Steve here because sometime in the next 3 weeks, I got to go out for supper with him sometime anyhow, just to discuss the upcoming summer. So
Okay.
I'll harass him a little bit for you then again too.
All right, you guys.
All right, take
Thanks
care.
a ton, guy.
Yep. Take care.
Yep.
see
Bye
ya.
bye. Damn, bud, that's a lot of fun. I don't care.